Is everybody having just the best day? That definitely didn't sound like you are. Is everybody having the best day? That's better. Okay, so I'm absolutely thrilled to be on this stage with you guys. So I'm going to share my I story. Now, as I sat writing my I story, I wasn't sure I could put 6 years into 10 minutes. However, on reflection, I realized that actually much of that 6 years is just a mess of inconsistency, self-doubt, and a lot of Netflix. Doesn't build you a business. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share with you guys a little snippet of my story of when I promoted to area, because that's the first time that I saw mega growth in my business, and that's what I'm doing now, and we're seeing that growth again, which is really exciting. So let me set the scene for you. It was month end, August 2016, so 2 years ago. I was 4 years into my business, an executive district manager. I closed that month on 3,000 QV, may as well have been 0. I had one strong leg going in and out of AMQ all year, and I just lived in constant fear that they would pass me. I don't know if anyone can relate. Instead of just getting out there and actually doing enough to ensure that that wouldn't happen. So that month end, I sat with my boyfriend, and I sobbed. I'm a crier. And that was it. I just decided I am quitting. I'm also a little dramatic at times. So I just wasn't where I wanted to be. I certainly wasn't where I thought I would be 4 years into my business. And I desperately wanted to take the easy way out, and I really, really did want to quit. However, what happened next was a massive turning point in my business. My boyfriend turned to me and he said, you have never really ran with Arbonne, not consistently. He said, so why don't we see what happens if you run for 3 months, do everything Arbonne, and then if you're not actually further along, you're obviously not very good at it, we'll talk about quitting. Honestly, quitting sounded easier, but I knew he was right, and so that was it. I decided to run. No title goal, just get Arbonne obsessed every day and take action at every opportunity. When an idea popped into my mind, I had to action it, listening to my intuition and following my instincts at every opportunity, instead of allowing fear to guide me as it would have done in the past. If I even just liked the look of someone, I had to speak to them. Totally works, by the way. I had a one-to-one a couple of weeks ago with a girl who was in a restaurant waiting tables. She wasn't even serving my table, but she just had a great vibe. You know, when you can just tell someone's working really hard, she's got a great energy. So I got up from my table. She was dashing back to pick some plates up, and I went and I spoke to her, and I prospected her. I did a one-to-one a couple of days later, and she's now a consultant in my business. Thank you. So anyway, I digress. So I made new friends everywhere I went. I hosted a relaunch for my business. I asked people who I'd perhaps previously avoided to host for me or sample products and do a survey with me. I invited people to do the 30 Days to Healthy Living and Beyond program, and I did as many one-to-ones as I could physically fit in my diary. And I spoke to my fabulous team every single day. This was it, doing Arbonne properly. I started, and actually soon the team followed. We got into massive income-producing activity and went from 3,000 QV in August to over 18,000 in December. My business grew 6 times in 3 months, and we then completed area mid-January, going on in February to actually do 32,000 and just missing Region Qual. Thank you, that's my team. They're good fans. I told them cheer as much as you can. They got it. I promoted out 14 district managers in my success line, and I went on to earn AIT in 2017. Thank you. So huge growth and momentum happened just from that simple decision to do what truly needs to be done. And we've heard it so much today. The stories, the message is all the same. It's just delivered by different people. So basically to do what truly needs to be done and move it. Now, I'm going to be really honest with you. When I woke up on September 1st, I thought I was going to wake up so inspired and excited and ready to go. And I didn't. I just woke up still the same way. I really didn't want to take action still. I was so uninspired, just as the day before. But a decision had been made. And for that day and the days and weeks that followed, I went to work regardless of how I felt, because I had taken any other option away. And that is what we need to do if we want to promote and we want to move in this business. You're going to leave this conference fired up. We've had some incredible trainings and so excited for what's possible. But some of you will go home, sit on the couch, get your phone out ready to send messages. Fear will kick in and you won't take action still. You'll just think your way out of it. So I have a little phrase that I say to myself when I overthink things. I say, Hannah, thinking is not your friend. And then I move before I can overthink it. It's exactly the same as 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 for anyone who has read the fantastic book, The 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins. Only mine is shamefully from the Nashville TV series. From one eye box set stages of my business. So in my experience, you are never going to want to do it. After this conference, it's time for all of us to stop looking to be motivated. This is your motivation. It's time to start looking to be committed. We hear that success is a decision. But for me, it's a daily re-choosing. A bit like when you have a boyfriend or a husband. You don't like them every day, but you re-choose them. And if you don't, you get rid of them. So you wake up, and no matter what happened the day before, you re-decide, you re-choose. Today, I decide to be successful. With more activity, it's going to come more rejection. So for me, a rock-solid mindset is absolutely essential. Otherwise, you're going to start to believe those no's and naysayers and the cancellations. And that 3 months of Arbonne committed activity is going to turn into a couple of weeks at best. What I do is I actually write 2 lists, things that serve me, things that do not. On the first, I write must-do daily disciplines, reading, listening, and meditating. We've heard it so many times, as an absolute no matter what. Quotes and parts of books that I love and have highlighted, audios that lift me up and remind me what I'm working for, why I'm working this hard. And actually, I really love, for me, I love EMVP, Miranda Bircham's 2016 training. It pretty much brings me to tears every time. And at the moment, I'm on running to Region. I'm playing it every morning because it reminds me that firstly, what's possible, but that this is bigger than us. And that's what you need. You need something that gets you moving when you're getting tired and you're getting ill and you're about to speak at AAC. I also write things that light me up, like dancing and running and now yoga. Getting up early each day. I also write a list of what Arbonne has already brought into my life. And this is imperative. Doing the 30 Days to Healthy Living program and beyond, and exercising regularly. Healthy body, healthy mind. And on the other list, on the things that serve me, things that don't list, I put things like people who bring me down. Like, harsh, I know, but but you have to be so protective of your headspace. If people are negative about Arbonne, don't speak to them about Arbonne. I know that's really hard if it's your spouse, but you have to not complain to those people. And also excessive TV. We have spoke about this a lot. I've given it up, but it was my standard go-to when things get tough. I don't know if anyone else, curl up on the sofa, stick Netflix on, back-to-back Gossip Girl. But it makes you feel horrendous, and the less you do, the less you want to do. So do not fall into this pattern. It's time for us all to stop watching people who are already living their dreams and start living our own. So I thought I would just finish with a list of things that Arbonne has given me so far, as I feel that it can be hard to see past where we are when we aren't where we'd like to be. Does anyone else relate to that? So when I'm feeling disappointed with my progress, I start by writing a list, start with gratitude. I start by writing things that really help me put everything into perspective. I strongly recommend this. So the number one thing for me is hope. For a life free from having to do a job I don't want to do, just to survive this crazy life. I wake up each day with hope and excitement for an incredible, abundant future for me and my family. Coming to events like this is just phenomenal. That now is top of the list. Lifelong friendships with my uplines and my sidelines and my wonderful team. Just loving them. I actually spent so many AACs, leadership academies, and GTCs as a team of one. Cried a lot then too. And today there's 15 of us here. Big up to soon-to-be Region Wing. And I looked down the road this morning, so I came in after dancing, I sat on the row and I looked down and it nearly brought me to tears, like I'm so grateful. But all I did was stay and then put the work in. So if you're in that position, just know it's coming, keep going. I actually met my boyfriend through Arbonne. Now I'm not saying that's gonna happen for all of you, but you never know. An opportunity to fulfill a lifelong passion of public speaking. Nowhere else in the world would I have been able to gain the knowledge and skills to be given the opportunity to speak on a stage in front of 2,200 people. I am so incredibly grateful and humbled to have been asked to speak with such an incredible lineup. And any one of you guys can be here too, sharing your story. Again, something I visualized for nearly fell over, such a long time. AIT 2017, I literally do not have enough time to put this into words. Whoop, whoop. Victoria McCue. Area commission checks and override checks, jewelry and recognition from my uplines. Thank you, Hetty Gifford and Hannah Clark, for absolutely spoiling me rotten. A strong mindset to deal with the ups and downs of this crazy journey called life, to be able to forgive and love so much more than I ever would have been able to without the personal development that comes with this business. Self-worth, confidence, the ability to go anywhere and know I can do well. And finally, a huge vision for my future that sets me on fire. And it's this that keeps me in activity. Hundreds of MVPs in my success line. Retiring my mum from a job that is making her miserable. Creating a trust fund for my niece and nephew. A huge airy house on the Kent hillside. The back is all glass, and as I step outside, there's great chats around the fire pit and the table. Kids are playing in the heated pool, and my dogs are running on the lawn. I have traveled the world in style, surfed and skied and dove in the most spectacular oceans and mountains, and have seen more wild animals, love an animal, more wild animals than I could have ever imagined. What is your because of Arbonne so far? I strongly recommend going away and writing that list. And what is your vision for the future? I believe our life's purpose is to live a life of massive joy and abundance and help as many others do the same. Having an Arbonne business provides us with that opportunity to go and create that. We have infinite possibilities. How dare we not? Thank you.